Welcome back to Family Still Matters. I'm Deborah. I ask that you listen to this entire message before responding because this is not an emotional reaction. It is a measured and thoughtful response. 1 Corinthians 5 and 21 says, "Test everything. Hold on to what is good." That scripture is exactly why we are here today, because our community deserves to examine what is being put in front of us and hold on only to what is true and real. Right now, there are content creators building entire channels around fake black elders. I'm talking about older black people like me, men and women, and they are specifically targeting our community, and we need to ask why. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to spot an AI generated content, the specific tactics being used to target the black community, and the concrete steps you can take to make sure you are never misled by a face that was never real. Because if we don't start talking about this now, the line between real voices and fake ones is going to disappear completely. And our community will be the ones who will pay the cost. So let's start with what's actually happening here. There are content creators, many of whom have nothing to do with the black community, who are building faceless channels using AI-generated faces of elderly black men and black women. They pick that image deliberately because elder figures in our community carry trust and authority. That's part of our culture, and they know that. AI tools today can generate a face that looks completely real with the wrinkles, the skin tone, the expressions. Then they pair that face with a voice, a script, and a thumbnail. And suddenly you have a channel that looks like your grandmother is sitting down to give you life advice. Because the content is general enough. Relationship advice, financial tips, motivational talk. It sounds credible. But your aunt didn't say it. Your grandmother didn't say it. The algorithm did. The problem isn't just the advice. The problem is that you don't know who is actually behind it. What is their agenda? Or whether they care about your well-being at all. I want to be clear about something. I have no issue with content creators being creative. What I do have an issue with is the deliberate exploration or exploitation of our community, using our faces, our elders, our culture, and our trust to generate views and income with no accountability, no authority behind it. That's not creativity, that is deception. So I need you to ask yourself a deep question. Why us? Why are they specifically choosing the faces of elderly black men and women? When a group of people is repeatedly targeted with false personalities and false authority figures, that's not an accident. That is a pattern. And as a community, we must stay vigilant. Now that you understand how these channels are built, let's talk about how to spot them. Spotting AI-generated content is a skill, and it is not hard to learn. Once you see these signs, you can't unsee them. Start with the face. AI-generated faces are smooth in ways that don't make sense. The eyes don't move naturally. The mouth doesn't always sync perfectly with the words. The background is often too clean or never changes from video to video. Then look at hands. AI still struggles with hands. So if you rarely see them, that's a flag. Listen to the voice. AI voices have gotten very good, but they still tend to have a flatness to them. No real stumbles, no natural pauses, no personality in the way a real person talks. Real creators have a history. They slip up. They reference personal experiences. They interact with their audience in ways that are specific and human. AI channels keep everything general because general content can be recycled endlessly. Check the content section too. If the creator never directly responds, never calls anyone by name, never addresses a specific question, that tells you something too. You now have the tools to protect yourself and the people you love. Use them every time you consume content. Because I was really shocked. I was listening to something by Dr. Miles Monroe. Well, we know he's dead. We know he passed away years ago. But that somebody has started a channel, an AI channel, looking like Dr. Monroe. Come on. This is bigger than fake videos. The Black community places high value on elder wisdom, on lived experience, on people who have walked the road before us. These channels are exploiting that value. They are taking something sacred to our culture and turning it into a content strategy. People are making decisions based upon this content. Financial advice, relationship advice, health advice from a face generated by software. No lived experience, no accountability, no real person who has felt what you feel. The real damage isn't just to individual creators. It's to our community's ability to trust what it sees. Once that trust erodes, it is very hard to rebuild. What we need to do requires all of us. Ask questions before you share. Verify before you repeat. Support real creators who show their faces, share their names, and put their actual lives into their content. And talk about this in your circles, because silence is exactly what allows this to keep growing. The most powerful thing AI cannot replicate is real story. And that is exactly why we need to protect it. I want to be transparent with you about why I personally made this video. More than once, several times, people came to my channel and in the comments directly at me and asked, "Are you AI? Are you real?" And I had to tell them, I'm a real person. I'm showing up here with a real face, my real name, my real experience. And yet, because of what is being circulated on this platform, people couldn't tell the difference. That was my wake-up call. And I knew I had to responsibly say something. I keep coming back to that scripture. Test everything. Hold on to what is good. That word was written for exactly this kind of moment. When deception wears the face of wisdom and our community is being fed information by personalities that were never real. That is why we test. That is why we stay vigilant. Not out of fear, but out of the responsibility we have to each other and to the truth. I have found several, possibly 7 or 8 channels doing exactly what I've described. I will link them in the description below so you can see it for yourself. Look at them. Look at what you've learned today, because once you see it, you'll understand exactly why this conversation was necessary. This channel exists to protect families, strengthen homes, and bring clarity where culture has become careless. We are not here to create fear. We are here to create awareness. And awareness is how our community stays protected. At the end of the day, the best way to fight a fake is to keep showing up as something real and to teach the people around you to tell the difference. If this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know before, subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of conversations we need to keep having. I will also leave a link below, as I stated, that is related resources on this topic, and I think you will find it very valuable. I'm Deborah. This is Family Still Matters. And remember, authenticity, integrity matter too. May the Lord continue to richly bless you and your family. God bless.